The song was NWA, but did anyone catch the name of the song? Did you catch what they were saying? You just grooving out to the beat? So the name of the song was Express Yourself, and I thought it was appropriate. I always like using that as an opener because it is always about learning how to express yourself. We're going to be talking about skills for success. So, you guys hear me? Because it seems like this thing doesn't want to cooperate. Go good. Yeah, it's real good. Let me give it a couple minutes, let people trickle in here. Raise your hand if you're having a great morning this morning. Excellent, excellent. I'm glad to hear that. I'm going to tell you about my morning. Raise your hand if you're interested to hear about my morning. Let me help you out. It's all about me right now. You're at my workshop, so everybody raise your hand because you want to hear about me. You want me to share with you. So I woke up this morning, and I got up early. I was going to have some breakfast, right? Fill my stomach, get prepared. I sit down with my coffee, and I'm going through my 2 presentations. I go through my emotional intelligence, knock it out, it's all good. I'm going through the presentation that I already put together that I'm going to present for you today. And at 7:15, when I opened it up, I noticed that the 40 images that I put together in the right way and organized it the way I wanted, I noticed that the PowerPoint only showed 15. How do you feel right now? If you were me? It's 7 o'clock. I know I got 2 hours to basically recreate a whole presentation that took me a week to put together. So needless to say, have you been there? Have you been there? I would tell you that I saved the stuff, but apparently something happened. So I got first. He didn't want to follow those rules. It's okay. He let me know I was number 1, though. He let me know I was number 1. So my morning was a little interesting. All right. So I hope you all had a better morning, waking up, getting to where you need to be. And I want to acknowledge you for being here. This gentleman's got a basketball game later, and he's here. It's going to be an all-day experience, so that says a lot about yourself. Who else has some things going on later in the day? And you're here. So good. So I want to acknowledge you. So we're going to go ahead and start. We're going to get started and begin and get kicked off. So I want to open up with this. Let's do this. One, I'm all about audience participation. Okay? So when I ask questions, give me a response. When I say, hey, with the show of hands, let me see it, right? We want to get the energy level up. So first off, why don't everybody get up? Because you guys are way too quiet for me to start. Everybody get up. Who watches Duke basketball? Right? You guys know what do Duke fans do? Right? Everybody jump up and down. Come on, get your energy level up. You've been eating stuff, sitting in meetings, all right? All right. And when I say, how are you this morning? You say, we are awesome. And I want a real loud scream, be really loud, obnoxious, okay? So come on, get your energy levels up. How are we doing this morning? Awesome. That was weak. How are we doing this morning? Awesome. So how are we doing this morning? Awesome. All right. Give yourselves a hand. All right. Sometimes you got to be a little abnormal to get along in life, okay? So, great, see what happens? They heard you. They were looking, they heard the noise. It was like a fly to the light, a moth to the light. They have been found. Welcome. And you are just in time. So, let me start with this. Right here, here's a check, okay? It's a check for $100, right? And it's good. It's a good check for $100. Raise your hand here. Who would want this check? Made out to cash, raise your hand. Okay, ladies, you know, that's kind of pedicures, right? All right, so real high, raise your hand. Raise your hand if you want a check for $100. Excellent, that makes sense, right? What about now? What about now? Okay. What about now? I can't change your mind about it. I can't detour you from wanting $100. Why is that?
That's money.
It's money. What do you mean by that? I know you mean more than that. What do you mean by that?
I can buy goods and services with it.
You can buy goods and services, and that translates to what?
Happiness.
Happiness, which really is, what's the money equating to you?
Happiness.
Happiness. What else? Why are you so like, yeah, man, I don't care what it looks looks like, I mean, you see like a tore up, beat up $100 bills on the ground, it's all dirty. Are you like, oh man, that's all nasty? Or do you pick that thing up and go, yeah. Right? Why is it? It's still worth something to who? To you, right? No matter what this looks like, it still has value, doesn't it? See, here's the thing about that. A lot of times, we don't give ourselves as much value, or we don't put enough value on ourselves and our ability as we do to $100. See, no matter what you do to that $100, there's still value. Society values it, you value it. But a lot of times, the problem is, people don't value themselves. They allow themselves to get beat down. They don't have belief. They don't know where to get the belief. They don't know how to present themselves. And they just kind of go through life. Now, let me ask you this. Do you want to experience life, or do you just want to kind of exist? Experience life, right? So that's what we're going to talk about today. I was going to do some presentation. I thought, let's just have a conversation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, and I'm going to throw some words at you to talk about how they've helped me and why I think these are some skills that you should develop and learn about. Fair enough? Okay? So there's going to be interaction. I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to want feedback. I'm going to point at you. I'm going to ask you to give me an answer, right? Or I'm going to say as a group, right? And that's how we're going to go because we're together. We're going to be better because we're together today, okay? You're going to learn something. And I encourage you to take some notes. So, readers are leaders. Leaders are people that take notes. So I would encourage you, yes, I encourage you to take notes. I can't make you do anything, but I would strongly implore you to decide to jot down things that resonate with you. When I say something and you go, man, that's a nugget. That's something you need to write down. Okay? So away we go. While you're getting your paper, my name, as you see up there, is Anthony James Perez. I'm the founder and CEO of Success as a Language Incorporated. My company works on personal and professional leadership coaching. We basically create desired results for people, whether it's individually, whether it's a group. Okay? I'm also a founding partner of the John Maxwell team. Curious, raise your hand if you're familiar with John Maxwell and his teaching. I got one. John Maxwell's got about 90 books. He's internationally. He's known as the #1 leadership guru. He sits with presidents and leaders in the world, and he's like the person to really look to for leadership and understanding how to build relationships and get along. And I was afforded the opportunity to work with him and be a founding partner of his coaching team. All right. So a little about me, some background. Moved here from Chicago about 3 years ago. I had a background in Navy, did rescue swimmings, did some drug interdiction. Rescue swimming was interesting because I could run and do push-ups and do all that stuff, and someone said, I think you should go and do the rescue swimming thing. Now, just in the name rescue swimming, what do you think's involved to be a rescue swimmer? Anybody? What's that? You have to know how to swim. Do you have to just know how to swim, or would it be in my best interest to really be a great swimmer? Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Guess what Anthony wasn't so great at? Swimming. I wasn't even able to clear my mask. I didn't know how to do that. And one thing that I found out real quick was, if you want to get stronger lifting weights, you do more cardio, you can do a lot of a variety of different things. I wrestled all my life, so you can do a variety of different things that will help you get the results that you want in a certain areas. You guys with me? Guess what I found out though? If you want to become a really great swimmer, guess what you have to do? You have to swim. I mean, you can't just go and run 20 miles and think that when you get in the pool, magically you're going to be a great swimmer. So that was a first lesson of how to plan and how to get through things. While other guys were hanging out, I was in the pool by myself working on how to get better because I wanted to make this happen. Anybody else ever been there? You kind of throw yourself into something, you find yourself in a situation where maybe you're a little overwhelming. So that was a principle for me as far as how to develop yourself personally, mental toughness. After the Navy, I got into financial services, worked my way up from an advisor to a vice president. I trained people, I hired people. And that's where I started learning about mentorship. I learned about what success looked like. A lot of times, people don't really know what success looks like. And that's where I started my journey about personal development. One thing about personal development, people, you know what? I can't make you want to improve yourself personally. You have to want that. It's a new year, right? People are all at the gym, working out. Right? If you go and get a fitness trainer, but you don't really want to improve your quality of life and your health, is it going to work with you? A fitness trainer, unless you want to help yourself, they're not going to be able to help you. Right? So it's learning those skills that you need to develop, the skills that don't really require any talent, understanding what those are and how to implement those in your life so you can achieve the success you want. So we're going to talk about those. So one, character building. Character building. What are some examples of character? Just yell them out.
Integrity.
Yell them out. Integrity.
Honesty.
Honesty. What else? Come on.
Personality.
Personality.
Accountability.
Accountability. One more. Over on this side. I'm pointing in this area, so that's... Don't do a Peyton Manning on me. Come on, I'm looking right at you. I'm looking right. What else? What's another one?
Responsibility.
Responsibility, right? But we all agree that character is important. You've heard it all your life. Your teachers have said it, your friends, right? Your parents. Why is it important, though? Well, as it says there, understand that we're defined by our core ethical values, our integrity, our sense of justice and compassion, and the degree of respect that we have for each other. Would you agree with that? How many of you have been on the wrong side of somebody with poor character? Raise your hand. Did you like it? See, character is important because core ethical values are universal. What do I mean by that? Anybody want to jump out and think, what am I talking about there? Core ethical values are universal. What do I mean by that? I hear something. Anybody? What do I mean by universal?
Everybody uses the same value.
Everybody uses it. Listen, I was in the military. I was all over the world, right? So let me help you out. If I walked up, what's your name? Skylar. If I walked up to Skylar right here in Colorado Springs and I just slapped him upside the head, what do you guys think about me?
Rude.
Rude? What does Skylar think about me?
Belligerent.
He's a jerk. That guy's a jerk. Now, what if I'm in Hong Kong? What if I'm in the UK and I walk up to somebody and just slap them upside the head? And it's like, has the perception that I created for myself for that person, has it changed? Do they think I'm awesome, or do they think I'm a jerk too? I'm still a jerk. You guys gotta get your energy level up, right? Do we need to do jumping jacks again? Right? You're still a jerk, right? See, character, wherever you go, it's universal. Knowing right from wrong. Knowing how to treat somebody, right? Responsibility, integrity. Character, core ethical values are foundational. What do I mean by that foundational? What am I talking about? Thank you. You can build off of it, right? If I was standing in the muck right now, in this place, would we be sinking, correct? You build a home on what? On marsh? Or what did I use to build a foundation? Cement. Solid foundation. Character is a solid foundation from which you build yourself from. And core ethical values support achievement. They support achievement. They don't allow you to achieve achievement. Here's a perfect example. Raise your hand if you agree with me that you know that the right thing to do every day is to show up to school. Keep your hand raised if you would agree with me wholeheartedly that if you showed up to school on time every day, that you would guarantee yourself straight A's. Wow. And why is that? Why did everyone drop their hands? You mean that if you don't go to school every day, you're not going to get straight A's? Why? What has to happen for you to get those straight A's? You have to try. See, character is about knowing right from wrong. But now the flip side of that is understanding performance character. See here, be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think of you. It's important that you're clear here about who you are in your life. Make sure that your actions and behaviors live up and reflect the words and ideas and promises and commitments that come out of your mouth. Is trust important to you guys? Ladies, is trust important? I know that, man, what's she gonna be? Oh no, right? You need to know that if somebody violates that trust, you tell them something and then they go out and, right? It's very hard to recover from that trust. Would you agree? Talk to me. Right? Live in such a way that if anyone should speak badly of you, no one will believe it. That's powerful right there. Because let me help you out here. I'm going to just be direct. As you get along in life, I'm a community organizer, and I'm meeting with people, and we're looking at doing different things in the community. And you know what? A lot of times you find friction in the community. I'm going to just be very frank. You're going to find out that unless you're not pissing somebody off, you're not doing anything. But that's okay. Because as long as the majority of people know, hey, if somebody says something bad about Skylar, but everybody knows now that can't be. It must just be that person having a bad day, because I know Skylar, right? I know his character. That's how you want to live life, and that's how you want other people to see you. So talking about performance, we're not talking about singing, we're talking about execution. Performance character. Right? So character development is about right and wrong, right? Performance character is about how you take care of your business. Right? You show up to school every day, but you know what? You're in suspension. You show up to school every day, but you're late to class, you don't put in any effort, you're getting F's. Does that make sense? You got a job, but you know what? You're always waiting for someone to tell you what to do. You show up late, you don't have any ownership. See, we can do a lot of the right things very wrong in life. Shake your head if you're with me. Have you discovered that? Right? You can kind of half, right? Performance character enables us to achieve. It enables. We just proved that. You can go to school every day, but unless you put in the effort and the work, you're not going to get the results you want. Promotes an ethic of excellence. It creates a growth mindset. It allows you to follow through. It teaches you how to start following through. How many of you guys have done something that you really didn't think you were able to do, and you did it? And you got a little win, check in the block. Did that build confidence in yourself?
Yeah.
And when you come to a crossroads and an obstacle the next time, did that help you get through that?
Yeah.
So that helps you develop those skills, right? It helps you get through the storms in life, and it helps you become self-reliant and dependable. So we're going to jump into some things here and just talk about some words and have a discussion about what they are and how they apply to you. Fair enough? Fair enough? Yes. All right. So, communication skills. Communication skills, are those important? Are they?
Yes.
We got written and oral, right? Written communication is kind of a dying art these days, but it's very important. We'll talk about that a little later. Being able to convey a well-organized, concise statement, right? Nonverbal, we're going to talk about nonverbal in a minute, but communication skills is huge, especially in the 21st century, in a day and age where everything's about technology and all this stuff. Communication skills is still very important. So let's start with this. What's this guy doing? What you see this picture, what's come to mind?
Testing the mic.
Speech, right? He's doing what I'm doing, right? Presentation skills. How does that mean? Every day, whether you're talking to a group like this or just one-on-one with your parent, your teacher, your friend, every day, each one of you have multiple opportunities to present, to state your case, to share your ideas, and get an opportunity to get someone to buy in and support you. And that comes with your ability to present. what you want to say. But presentation isn't just about speaking. What other aspects of presentation come to mind to you as a group? When you think of a presenter, yes?
Connecting with your audience.
Connecting with your audience. Am I doing a decent job of that right now? Okay, thank you. What else? Body language. Body language is very important. I'm going to tell you, as a younger generation, that's one thing that you guys miss the mark a lot. I see people walking around doom and gloom. I used to have this barber in Chicago. He used to say, man, all these shorties all upset about everything. They don't even know what they're mad about. They're just mad all the time. You know, there's a lot of truth to that. See, your generation always walking down, slumped over, all upset, dejected about, I don't know what. I remember being a teenager. I know how it is. But body language is a lot. You got to act as if and get you in the right state of mind. What else? What about presentation skills? What else goes into presentation skills? Back table there. The gentleman with the line here in the wall. Anything come to mind about presentation skills?
The way you present, or project your voice, the words you say.
Okay, absolutely. Another thing, right? A lot of times, I think we've kind of seen that here. A lot of times we just talk to people and I go, what? Huh? Huh? Yeah, you're going to say something, right? I know you can be loud. When you're upset about something, you get loud, right? You got something you want to say. There's a time, you got the confidence. Timidity doesn't help get you out there. If you're going to be out there, you got to be out there, right? So let's talk about presentation skills. What about the power of appearance? Power of appearance. We're a judgmental society. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Right? You walked in, you judged me, you judged the music. What's this music? What's this guy? Why did this worship? It's okay because I judged you. It's okay. Why are they late? Why are they down? It's all good. True or not true? We're just a really funny, judgmental society, right? People pick each other apart. You walk in, 30 seconds, within a minute, it's like, I don't like his shoes. Why has he got this? What's up with the purple? What? And it's very important that when you're connecting with people, you're putting the odds in your favor to connect with them, like the young lady said, and be appealing to people, especially for a job interview, especially if you're looking to get a scholarship. You got to sell yourself, folks. Listen, guys, y'all sell yourselves when you're looking for a date, right? Come on now, you know what I'm talking about. You might even clean off your shoes. You know you're going to the game and that girl's going to be there. Ladies, am I lying?
No.
She's like, I don't know. You need to find some good guys. Maybe. So would you agree the power of appearance is important? Right? What you wear. Listen, it's your body. I know it's 2015. I know tattoos are the thing to do. I'm going to tell you something. As a VP, hiring and training people, you walk in with a tattoo here, you got some facials? It's not happening. Hey, you could be the best financial advisor if I gave you the shot, but you know what? There's a judgmental society out there, and unfortunately, it's too much for most people to get through to get the results that they want. In certain career paths, you got to understand, image is everything. I'm not saying that you shouldn't get tattoos. I'm saying that you should really put in some careful consideration as to where you want to put the tattoos. I'm saying that you should put in some careful consideration as to what you're getting pierced and when you have the piercings in. That's all I'm saying. Presentation is important. Appearance, right? Wearing the right outfit, the right uniform to the right event. You play basketball. Would you wear your basketball uniform to church tomorrow? No. Would somebody wear football pads and their helmet to church? You got uniforms in life. It's important that you wear the right uniform the right way to the right event. Does that make sense? What about this? Listen, sometimes you could have a $500 suit on, but if I smell you 2 miles away, guess what? I already made a decision. Whether it's bad cologne, ladies, guys, trying to make yourself be all pretty, gotta throw all that down. See, because what you think is great, somebody else might not. And you know what? I might not want to hire you because that stink is going to be around my office. You guys get that?
Yep.
Okay? Things that you do on a weekend at the club or whatever might not be conducive when you're trying to get a scholarship. It might not work when you're trying to get an interview at a job. So you got to think about that. I'd rather take somebody with a poor suit that doesn't have a foul order. They're putting some effort in. Does that make sense? These are things that people don't really think about. What about this? What do they do? Shaking hands. Listen, I don't care what you say, 21st century, internet, all this technology. You know what, at the end of the day, this is still the number one thing that makes business happen. I was just with execs at USAA. I met with one of the guys. I'm pitching this idea with him, and he came across with a smile and a handshake. And I'll tell you, gentlemen, many a times, I got to say, everyone I shook hands with today, he passed the grade. Many a times, I shake people's hands, and guys, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. You get with it. It's about a firm handshake. It's about, how you doing? Not only are they shaking, what else are they doing? Eye contact. There's some people that shake their hand and they do this. What is that? Why are you not looking at me? Right? Ladies, the same thing. Ladies, you got a good handshake. People will say, "Woo, look at that handshake." That holds true. And handshake is the same thing, is the number one thing to build trust, and that gives that's a barometer as far as how people see you. What about this? Man, I'm telling you, I used to train this guy. He was an advisor, and we'd be doing role playing, and I'm watching, and I'm like, "Hey, Rod, you like what you're doing?" He's like, "Yeah, I love what I'm doing." I'm like, "Really? You sure this is the right career for you?" He's like, "Yeah, absolutely." I go, "Hey, do me a favor. Do me a favor then, okay? Tell your face." Because right now, you're scaring the client that you'd be with. Right? When you're out meeting somebody, you want to smile. Hey, why is smiling important? There's another reason why you want to smile. Does anybody know why smiling is that important?
It attracts people.
It attracts people. Sometimes it's a bad thing, right?
No, not for me.
Do you know that it's scientifically proven? Your physiology changes. It is hard for you to be in a crappy mood when you're smiling. I told you about my morning, right? After I kind of pounded on my desk and I kind of, you know what I was doing? I was smiling. You know why? Because I had to, man. I was just like, I had to change my mindset. A lot of times you catch me walking around town smiling. I'm smiling. You know why? Because I just had a meeting with some city field people, some elected officials, and I gotta smile. Because I'm like, you guys are not getting it. Smiling helps you get in that right state of mind. Raise your hand if you want to be in a negative, doggone mood. You want to be in a negative, crappy mood and be... Anybody? You want to be able to be in a positive mood, right? So smiling is important. What about this? What am I talking about here? Email. What about it? We're talking about presentation, right? What about it? What about it? What am I talking about there? Have you ever thought about how an email is part of presentation? Listen, do you know how many times I get an email from somebody that is very clear to me? There's the tone in it, it's cold, it's very apparent to me that they put no time in it. It was just almost like if they were sending off a text. First impressions, your presentation. There are a lot of people that I work with that they pay me to do things for, and I've never met them yet. And you know what the first impression was? My correspondence. You got to think about what you're writing. You got to look at it. You got to take some time. I have templates, an introductory, a follow-up. I have templates that save time, but I'm a wordsmith. I'm very specific about what I'm writing. I'm trying to learn about them and use the right words about vision and assisting them. You got to understand when you're trying for a scholarship, when you're corresponding, a decision maker, you don't just, "Hi, I'm Jenny from the block and like to get with you." "Yeah, I need a scholarship and I was told to contact you." "Yeah, throw up next." Am I lying? You gotta think about it this way. If some dude came up with some weak stuff like that to try to get you to go out on a date, ladies, right? So you're not gonna take it when somebody's trying to woo you, but but we don't put any effort in when we're trying to get something of substantial value, a scholarship, a job opportunity. You got to value this just as much as your appearance. You guys with me? Yep. So let's change gears, right? I want you to look at these words. I want to see, just you make a mental note. Hey, do these apply to you? Right? See, for me, am I innovative? Absolutely, I'm innovative. I can tell you about all the cool things that I've come up with. We're bringing music festivals here, like a Lollapalooza here. How many of you guys would be excited about that? Like 5 people, seriously? Maybe that's why I'm getting so much pushback. We're doing music festivals, right? We did some leadership events. We're trying to do some things with the NFL. My wife, she goes crazy because of all these ideas, but I don't just have ideas. I put them in action, and I make them happen. I get with the right people. We're going to talk about how you make that happen. So am I innovative? Absolutely. Am I passionate? Do you think I'm passionate about what I do right here? You get that, right? Okay, so that's a check in the block. I'm independent. I can work on my own. I can do things, but I'm also about working with a team and helping people get better. I'm very curious, asking questions. Well, why aren't we doing that in Colorado Springs? Well, why isn't there such diversity? Why is C4C such a good thing? I ask a lot of questions. I'm very imaginative. I'm very adventurous. Now, some people would say, because of those types of skills, that I'm a visionary. Okay. Do you identify with some of those words that I had up there? Yes or no? Yes. See, when you're seen as a visionary, that's pretty exciting. Because that means you got some ideas. That's exciting because visionaries make things happen. You have to have passion though. Passion makes the vision work. Does that make sense? You got to be passionate. You got some ideas that you really care about, changing the world, changing your life, changing your community, changing your block, changing your home, whatever. You can be a visionary. It starts with little things. But you got to have passion behind it. You got to have passion because that drives it. Passion helps the vision. Passion helps you achieve the goals. Listen, how many of you have set out and you go, man, this is the year I'm going to get my GPA up. This is the year I'm going to accomplish this. This is the year. And then you know what? You start going and all of a sudden, boom! Life happens, right? Right? We all get knocked down. What is it? We all get knocked down. That's how long it takes you to get back up. See, if you're passionate about something, those goals become a reality. You can't just have stuff up on your wall that you don't really care about. It ain't going to happen. But when you're a visionary, seen as a visionary, and you're passionate about your goals, and you're making things happen, you know what happens? People notice. Collaboration starts. People want to partner with you. People say, hey, you got a good idea, Antonio? Hey, man, I want to work with you on that. And teamwork comes together. Collaboration. And you know what? Teamwork makes the dream work, right? Everything works together. Maybe it's a study group. Maybe it's a new, you mentioned the young lady over here. You started a new group at Rampart, right? A bunch of people said, hey, I got a question, and I think we should do this. And then you find like people and you make it happen. Collaboration is what makes things happen. Thinking back, looking forward. Another skill you should develop. What am I talking about here? Thinking back and looking forward. Anybody? Thank you. You can leave a chat. He said self-reflection. Yes?
I would say it's depending on, looking back for your past successes and mistakes and then making choices based on them to make better choices. Absolutely.
Raise your hand if you do that. Regularly. Impressive. Very impressive. Sorry. So, check it out. Reflection is very important. The best way to learn how to move forward is reflecting back on your choices, your decisions. You know what? A lot of times, I'm going to tell you this, a lot of times people spend so much time on what they did wrong, don't we? Man, I didn't get the grade. I missed a big shot. Whatever. We focus so much on what we did wrong. Raise your hand if you know, you can honestly say, ooh, I spent a lot of time on figuring out how I got it right. Raise your hand. Very rarely, when I go into companies and I work with people, you know what? Managers talk about, oh, well, is she doing this wrong? Is she doing that wrong? Okay. Well, we figured out why they're doing it wrong. We're good. What are they doing right? Well, they're doing this right and they're doing this. Well, how did you do that? See, because sometimes it's an accident, isn't it? Sometimes don't you just try to do something and you get the results you want, you give your pat on the shoulder, you yay, and you move on. But we don't take the time to figure out, how do we do that? Because here's the thing, if I figured out the cure for cancer by accident, and I didn't take any notes, and I didn't take time to figure out how I got there, I might forget. I might want to know how I got there. Shake your head if you're with me. We can all figure out how we did wrong. We need to reflect back on the bad and the good and figure out how to get better. So self-reflection, finding time for yourself to think about the day, the week, the class, a relationship, a conversation, whether it was good or bad. You want to make a habit now of finding that time where you can reflect and have thoughts about things. Because opportunities are hiding in plain sight. Somebody will call me and say, hey, I want a presentation on this. You know what? I can do that. I can do that. Or I'm thinking about an idea on how I can bring people together. But I don't quite got it yet. I haven't figured it out. Now for me, you have to have a learning lab. You guys have to have a learning lab for yourself. For me, it's the gym. I'll have something, I'm working on it, I put it here, I walk away. See, because the brain's going to keep working. I'll go to the gym, I go exercise, it might be a couple days later and all of a sudden, boom! But see, you gotta understand that you have to allow that time. You gotta do something. It's working out, listening to music, doing something, hanging out. Whatever that learning lab is for you, where you can get those creative juices going. Because opportunities, your answers to your problems, they're there. Sometimes we just have to let it go. You got some of that frozen food, right? You must feed your mind. Skylar, help me out as I lose my voice. What's that say?
You must feed your mind with reading material, thoughts, and ideas that will
Possibilities, right? Reading material, thoughts, ideas. Hey, listen, if Oprah said it, you know it's right, right? I mean, come on, it's Oprah. But seriously, you gotta expand, you gotta feed this thing, right? See, what are you reading? What are you listening to? I am the worst. My wife is like, why even try? I'll lay down and I'll read. I last maybe 5 pages and then, seriously, I think there's something wrong. I need to get glasses probably. But thank God for technology, because this year, I've already knocked out 5 books because I could listen to them. Listen. See, you can listen to books. What are you listening to? What are you reading? What are you feeding your mind? Because what you read becomes thoughts, right? How you think about things. See, here's some books that I would encourage you to take a look at. Think and Grow Rich is an all-time classic. It's an audiobook. The Magic of Thinking Big. I encourage you to get this. You can listen to it on YouTube. And you should probably, man, I'm going to tell you, the guy sounds a little funny. It's definitely from the 80s, but I'll tell you something. Powerful. Powerful. My company's called Success is a Language. You know what that really means? See, I promise you that when I sit down with a CEO or a leader in an executive position, they know all these books. So if you get the information from the book and you can apply it, and then you meet somebody, you're talking the same language. You get that? You don't need to feel inferior. Ooh, they're an executive VP and I'm just, it's about what's going on here. But you got to open up a library. You got to start exploring and starting a journey to get better. We don't see things as they are. We see things as we are. Your perception is your reality, and that's based on what you feed yourself and what you're thinking about, who you're hanging out with. If you see things black and white, then they're black and white. There's no gray. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of color in the world, and you got to start feeding yourself and exploring and expand. Another thing, you have to understand the law of reciprocity. What's reciprocity mean? In the back, in the back. I haven't picked out anybody in the back yet. She's shaking her head, so you know I'm coming to you. Coming to you! Come on, anybody. Reciprocity. Do we have to go like to 4th grade math, the cyclical of the math? What's that mean? Nobody wants to take a guess? Did we not cover that in math? Listen, I know it's Colorado, folks, but come on. Really? if I'm a jerk to you, what are you going to be to me? Okay? If I put you on a pedestal and I offer value and I help you, what are you going to do to me? Girls, don't you want the guy to respect you and do nice things for you? And guys, you say, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to get her this and I'm going to do all those things because I want her to be nice to me. Yes? Yes or no? Yes. She's like, yes. Reciprocity, that is a huge law in business, in communication. Listen, a lot of times you see this. A lot of times you have people in your little network, your bubble, that are kind of have this mindset on how reciprocity works. Best of luck on the move from someone who will strategically be out of town when it happens. See, do you want people to be like that to you? Do you want people to be like that to you? Why is reciprocity important? To get along in life, it's all about building relationships, folks. It's about relationships, real relationships. I don't care that you have 1,000 Facebook friends. When you need something, when you need to launch something, they're not there. It's real relationships. Your success, your ability to achieve success is based on all the relationships that you're able to successfully develop in life. It starts with trust. We talked about that as a character. Are you going to want to have a relationship with somebody who violates your trust all the time? I like the shade. It was very flavorful. You just need a clock. You just need a clock. So, if someone violates your trust over and over again, are you going into business with them? Are you hanging out with them? Are you having a personal, intimate relationship with someone you can't trust? Trust is the foundation of every relationship, personal or professional. It's trust. It's that trust that creates the relationship that's a catalyst for change, for great ideas, to do things in your community, in your home, and in your life. Integrity. My man in the back here said something about integrity before. Integrity. It's about follow through, right? Doing right from wrong. Being in alignment with yourself. Being in alignment with yourself. That means that what you think about is what you feel about, is what you say, and is what you do. You should strive every day to be right there in alignment. I strive. Do I hit it out of the park every day? No. I fall, I miss. But part of it is understanding where you miss because I reflected back and said, how can I get better? But integrity, when I used to hire and train my financial advisors, one thing I told people, you can't recruit credibility. You can't train and develop. I can teach you about mortgages, but I can't teach you how to develop credibility. That's an inside job. Shake your head if you're with me. At the very end, it's about me creating value to you. It's about you creating value to somebody else. About you finding out what's important to them, their vision, what are they passionate about, and then say, hey, how can I help you? And bridging that. Because the more people value you when they see you value them. Does that make sense? It's about not talking about you. No one cares about you. Everyone likes talking about themselves. And if you want to build good relationships and know how to connect with people, there's a certain time where it's all about them. You're letting them share their ideas and talk about them. Because through the law of reciprocity, you ever been somewhere where that person just talks and talks and talks and talks? And you're just kind of standing there? What do they eventually do?
Stop talking. Lose interest.
They ask about you. Eventually they will ask about you. That's law of reciprocity. Hey, I'm doing all this. Oh, look, tell me about you. The best way to help in that is that when you meet somebody in the first 30 seconds, you think about a genuine, sincere compliment about them to break the ice. But you want to give to other people and see how you can serve them. It will come back to you. Well, hey, you've been helping me out. How can I help you? What I just mentioned, these are all intangibles. All these skills are things that they don't require talent. I was watching Undrafted, right? I was watching Undrafted. How many of you guys watch Undrafted? And they were talking about this guy. He's not big enough. He's not fast enough. But you know what? Man, he's got those intangibles. He's putting that effort in. He's out there. I'm going to move him forward. That's what people need to say about you. I don't know what it is about her. I don't know what it is about him. But you know what? There's something. They put in effort. That they got good character. And I'm going to take a chance on them. You want people to buy in and take a chance on you. You know why Gonzo's there? Because I want to see if you guys are paying attention. As we finish up here, it's about networking. Knowing how to network the right way. Don't worry so much about knowing the right people. Just make yourself worth knowing. The pastor on the west side used to tell me this. Anthony, it's not about who you know or what you know. It's about who you know that's willing to help you. And let me give you a news flash. If I don't like you, I'm not going to help you. If you don't like somebody, do you go bend over backwards and help them? Why should you? A lot of people think networking is this. Is it? For me, I don't think so. It's a process. It's something you got to do in this day and age. Meetups, likes on Facebook, following people, updates on your profile on LinkedIn. That's all great, but at the end of the day, it's about connecting with people. Right? Vince Lombardi, the great Green Bay Packer coach, used to always say, you capture somebody's heart, you capture their mind. Would you agree with that? I want you to think about something. Think about the best teacher that you've ever had here today, right now. The best teacher, they got the best out of you. You could go to them. There was something special about your relationship. Was it because they forced a lot of facts down your throat? Or was it because they really engaged? That they connected with you here? I bet it has something more to do with this. They connected with you here emotionally, and they started feeding you here. You get the opportunity to do the same thing with people. It's not about working behind the computer. It's getting out, meeting with people, having conversations. Conversations are free. Meet with people. You learn so much. So many times I leave a conversation with somebody I'm meeting, and you know what I leave with? I leave with a friend. I leave with a new opportunity. I leave with somebody that I learned some new things that I didn't know about. And more importantly, a lot of times from those conversations, I leave with some fresh new ideas. How many of you had dialogues with people, and from that, all of a sudden you just had these ideas? Right? How are you going to get this assignment done? How am I going to do this term pay? Oh, I got it. Why would you deny yourself that opportunity? Staying on your phone and texting. Right? I read an article where it says the problem with the generation is the inability to build proper relationships. That conversations are now texting, arguments are phone calls, and your emotions are status updates. Does that about sum it up? That's crap. Because if you don't know how to connect with yourself, how are you going to connect with other people? And at the end of the day, with all the technology, it's one thing that's consistent to make this world and your life go round. Everything that you achieve is because somebody else helped you. And if you can't connect with other people and develop the skills to get along, you're going to fall short. As we wrap up, traits about entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs, you got to develop an entrepreneurial mind. Entrepreneurs aren't about businesses. They're about listening and observing problems, thinking about solutions. And you know what? You could do that in school. You could do that at your job. You got to start reading about what entrepreneurs think about, how they see the world, right? It's about being adaptable, self-belief, vision. Entrepreneurs make things happen. You gotta be passionate about making things happen for you. No one in your family went to college, make things happen. You want to get a job and be a professional performer, make things happen. People say you can't do it, make things happen. It's about belief. You got to walk as if. You got to believe. You got to walk a little faster. You got to pick up the tempo. You got to have belief in yourself, because I want to be honest with you. If you don't believe in yourself, who is? Right? If you're down and out and you don't believe in yourself, guess what? You ain't got time for that, man. You gotta have belief in yourself. Attitude is everything. You gotta be enthusiastic about life and what you're going after. Do you know what really enthusiasm means? Enthusiasm means the Spirit of God inside you. Spirit of God inside of you. You gotta be enthusiastic about what you're doing. You're waiting in a long line at the DMV. Whoo! That's where I'm supposed to be. I might meet somebody. Hey! Right? The Office Max people took a little longer to get my copies. Hey! I was enthusiastic. I was smiling. Hey! I got here. It's all good. You gotta have spirit and passion and energy. You gotta have courage, right? Courage, man. You gotta have courage to get out there and say what you want to say. You gotta have courage to go out and make things happen. You have to have courage to stand up when people go, what do you think about MIT? Are you kidding me? You want to have a business? You need courage these days to not listen to people who are trying to bully you. They're listening to people that they're putting you down and saying, because you live in the wrong zip code, it ain't going to happen. Because you look a little different than the norm, it ain't going to happen. You got to have courage to stand up to that. It's not impossible, it just hasn't been done. There's a lot of great things out there that you could think about doing and make better. It doesn't need to be a fresh new idea. Think about things, how you can make them better. But at the very end, it's about effort, folks. And that's the biggest thing that I see, unfortunately, in your generation. Follow through and effort. And I promise you, a lot of people think, Tony, don't we wish effort was just a key on a keyboard? Man, let me hit that a couple times. I'll get that A. Let me hit that a couple times. I'll get the results I want. It doesn't happen, man. You gotta learn how to be, you have to get courageous. You gotta get disciplined. You gotta put some work in. You gotta follow through. You gotta work putting effort in developing all those skills that I just discussed with you. As we finish up, 3 things. As you're working with people, it's so important that you remember to be kind and generous. You never know who that person is or who they know. You know what? Every day, people can have a really crappy day. They can have a crappy week. You know what? You have an opportunity. John Maxwell talks about the elevator theory. You can take people up or take them down. You have an opportunity to be like the sun in their day. That cashier that gives you the change or they have a problem, smile. You don't need to be an ass to them. Be kind. Cooperate. Maybe you don't get it. Maybe you don't want to do something to your teacher and you don't agree. Okay. And trust me, you're going to find yourself in that situation many times in the next 20, 30 years. Figure it out, be kind, and cooperate. Say thank you. Make a habit of saying thank you to people. Even when maybe you don't have to. Hey, thanks. Hey, try this. Eyes on me. Try this verbiage a couple times. Instead of just thank you. You know what? I truly appreciate you assisting me with that. I truly appreciate you taking time to help me out. They remember you, man. Because most people just go, because you have this entitlement attitude. Anybody meet anybody that they're just so entitled? Yeah, you know that's special. No one's that special. Stop acting like you're way up here and people way down here. You ain't made it yet, and even when people make it. Hey, you want to know who's faking? You meet people that are well off and made it, you know what? They're the ones that go, hey, Scott, how are you doing? What'd you get from the workshop? What are you doing? And they're genuine. The ones that are faking it, hey, could you give me a water? You've seen people like that, right? You know the ones, your parents have pointed out people like that. Stop and say thank you. And start using this one. Even if you don't believe it 100%. Why fight it? Hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's okay. Embrace humility. Develop those skills that we went over, and I promise you, you'll achieve what you want. Because you'll build a great network of people that want to help you get you where you want to go. So, I do thank you for your time. I hope it was very helpful. I truly appreciate you being here and being very attentive and taking those notes. I challenge you to research those notes and go over some of them. For those of you that want to give me a couple minutes, I got a little survey. Love to get some feedback from you. For those that don't want to stay, you are off and running to your next event. Thank you again. You have a great